Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Colin, and today we're gonna have kind of like a sensitive, very sensitive conversation, and it has to do with money, work, and all that stuff. So in this series where I explain, life as an international student in the US, there are kind of like videos that I had made earlier on where I was explaining, a couple of things people have to put into consideration when applying to a country, when applying, for studies abroad to a country, depending on the interests. Like there are things, except for your love for a country, like let's say you love Japan, that is not enough, when you're applying as an international student to go to Japan. There are many things you have to educate yourself about Japan. There are many other reasons that you have to put into consideration, like fees, policies, and all that stuff. So I did speak. I'm actually gonna link all those, former videos for anybody that did not watch them because they're very, very, very insightful. But I did speak about something that was really, really important, and that is actually the fact that if you are applying to school in the United States as an international student, you actually are not allowed to work. You are not given employment authorization. You're not allowed to seek employment off campus. You are here for only the sole purpose of study. And many people don't actually know that when they're actually applying to the United States. And I know that also works for other countries, but depending on the different countries, it's different policies. I explained all that in a previous video. I'm gonna link it down below. But today we're gonna actually speak about the United States and working as an international student, right? Just like I was saying, you are not allowed to work as an international student in the United States. I actually did make another video. Goodness, I did make another video where I was explaining about side hustles, like the few side hustles online that I was doing, to just pass time and earn some money. I also have that video as well, that you can do if you have time and an internet connection. Obviously you can do them, but then if you really want to make sustainable income as an international student in the US, it is tricky. And I think when many people are applying to study abroad, they do have that notion of, I'm gonna study as I work, I can be there and make some really good money as I'm really studying. So by the time I'm done with my degree, with my master's, something like that, I also have chest the bag and I have some money to myself. And when it comes to the US, that is a big misconception, just like I said, because you're not allowed to work. And with that being said, still people find a way to go around. Just like I said, I have those online side hustles that are not really work because you're not getting a salary, you're not getting like a livable wage. You just do some small activities and get some money. It's not really sustainable. It's just something you can do in your free time. And people still find a way to go around and do something. And as much as that is something you can do for survival, it is not advisable because of two things. One, if you are caught, you can be deported. Your visa is going to be revoked, and because your visa is going to be revoked and you're deported, you may have a barrier, you may have a bar to not be allowed into the United States again for like 5 to 10 years. That is crazy. Now your school is jeopardized, your work is jeopardized, you cannot move anymore. And even if you apply to a visa to another country, they're going to be like, hey, why were you deported in the US? And you're going to be like, oh, I was violating homeland security regulations. And that is crazy. So the only way, and I want you guys to listen very properly, the only way to work as an international student is to work on school campus. It is the only green light. And the funny thing about this is, now you're gonna ask, okay, it is exciting. You're like, okay, if I can work on campus, that's great. I just want a job. Now the jobs on campus are just like the jobs out in the world. There are not as many to accommodate everyone, and because the job is on campus, it's actually open to anybody. It's open to everyone. It's open to the citizens, to the residents, to the international students, to the exchange students. It's open to everyone. So you really have to work really, really, really hard to prove yourself to get that post, because everybody wants it. The resident want it, the citizens want it, like everybody really wants that job, you understand? Other international students want it. So one thing I really advise people is identify the role you really want, or like in a particular department, because most departments in the university are going to be hiring, and really, really, really work towards it. like have a great resume, write a cover letter, because I feel like many of us don't write cover letters anymore, especially when the way to apply for jobs is via Indeed and LinkedIn. You know, you just click, 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 and you know, you've applied, you've not really written a cover letter. Writing a cover letter is going to help put you aside, you know, set you aside from the crowd, because everybody's not going to write a cover letter. So writing a cover letter really creates some in-depth, because your resume shows you great, your cover letter affirms you are great, you know. So write a cover letter and apply to these jobs, and then after you've been selected, you can apply for social security, you can apply for unemployment authorization. That being said, I want you guys to know that the people that take advantage of people, um when I was doing my online stuff, you know, doing research, and I was putting, you know, my resume and stuff like that, I made a video where I spoke about how I almost got scammed online for a job, and they almost, you know, stole my bank details, stole money, and you know, all that stuff. um you should be really, really careful as an international student. You may decide, you're like, oh my god, I really want to work, let me like risk it all, and you start applying for jobs. There are people out there that know that people are desperately looking for jobs under the table. So what they do is they pretend to offer you a job, and maybe the job is there, but then they take advantage of you and they pay you less than livable wage. They, you know, they don't give you any benefits. So truth is, they are using you. You know, they're using you, they're overworking you, and they're not paying you even your due. So be really careful with that, and just always check, you know, your campuses, careers, you know, a website, please, and just be checking there, you know, when they're hiring, and apply to as many roles as possible. Apply to as many roles as possible. But other than that, you should actually just be careful and not, you know, like share personal information like your I-20 and stuff like that to, like, you know, people that may exploit you. But that is it actually. Just saying that when you're gonna work as an international student in the US, campus is the only way. Working on campus, limited hours, it's part-time, but it is the only way, and it is the only thing you can actually take advantage of. So without getting yourself in trouble, and then also, you know, like these small side hustles, like, you know, walking your friends' dogs and stuff like that. So yeah, that is it. Hopefully this video has been, you know, insightful, and it has given you guys some insight on what that is and cleared some information. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you guys so much. I do speak about, you know, life as an international student, a lifestyle blogger. I've been creating so much content of lately, so you guys can actually check out my Instagram. It looks very beautiful. I love it. I'm falling in love with myself all over again. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you guys so much.